Yes, my name's Greg Malouf. I'm third generation Lebanese, born in Australia, and lived for many years with three generations, which I absolutely cherish because that's where the food began for me. Well, that's good. I'm glad you said that. It tastes very modern. A lot of people say that it's fused or it's fusion, but um, it was look, what we're doing now, and this restaurant represents contemporary Middle Eastern food, and I think that's my life's work anyway for the last 25 years or so. And through all the books I've written and through all the journeys, it's come to this now. It's come to Dubai, and the fact is that I'm more actually very excited about cooking for the locals, the Lebanese, and Arabs in general, because these are going to be my biggest critics. And we're going slowly here because I know that the Lebanese don't like great change in their food, but what I want to try and achieve is taking childhood memories and dishes, keeping the integrity, and giving the dishes a little more layers, texture, and making them look a lot more architectural. And that's really it. I don't want to lose the flavors of my memories, so we try and keep true to that. Came to Dubai through England. I was working in England in a place called Petersham Nurseries in Richmond, a very beautiful restaurant, and I was asked to come and look at this project in Dubai. When I arrived, it was a blank canvas, although the restaurant was actually designed on paper, but the kitchen was a canvas for me. And the scope or the brief was contemporary Middle Eastern or Middle Eastern. So I decided, well, if I'm going to cook in this part of the world, I think I might be crucified if I went to Lebanon. So I don't know if they're ready for the kind of changes I want to make. So that's why I chose Dubai. I think it's a lot more progressive and a lot more open to these sort of ideas. Look, it's starting to open up a lot more. At the start, it was tough, but now people are starting to understand and support what we do, and they realise that we do source beautiful produce, and we do try and put out traditional dishes, but make them look attractive and they're seasoned properly. They're presented in such a way that still keeps a little bit of the essence of what they're used to. So we just continue ticking along, and we try and put new things on every now and then to see what we can come up with and what we can develop. And it's a great platform for it. Look, chefs, they work hard, they work long hours, and I think the perception now has changed because they're making the food look a lot more glamorous and a lot more architectural and exciting. So, it's interesting how they're being branded rock stars. I don't get it. I wish I was a rock star. I don't know if I'd be here if I was a rock star. I'd be on my private jet somewhere having fun. So. But no, I think I'd much rather be in the kitchen and be surrounded by young cooks and try and challenge them, and I get challenged daily with them anyway. So the contemporary part really comes from the New World countries, because they're much more willing. I mean, countries like Australia or Canada, much more willing to try new dishes, new flavours. And they're much more supportive. And look, I know that Australia it's a multicultural country. Greeks, Italians, Lebanese, Chinese, Thai, you name it, they're there, and they work the lands, they fish the seas, they actually taught the Australians how to plant things, how to eat properly, where olive oil comes from, and they really were the pillars or the backbone of how Australian food culture grew. And when I started cooking, there was no one was afraid to try Lebanese food or try Thai food, and the different food cultures in Australia were done beautifully because they were original. They had the best ingredients. They had tomatoes that were, you know, real tomatoes. They had seafood that was gorgeous. So, you know, we were just very lucky that we had this multicultural influences, and I think from that and a mixture of people, people wanted to eat and experiment, and they weren't afraid to try. So, and they knew what was good and what was not good. You go to Europe and it's a little more difficult. You try and find a nice Chinese restaurant in Italy, you'd be struggling, yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah. Or, you know, even, although, you know, a place like Germany, you find some great Turkish restaurants. You'd struggle to find Chinese, of course, or Thai, or any foreign. I mean, it's so foreign to them that, you know, a curry sauce is curry powder, just, you know, and it's not curry powder, that's something the English made up anyway. So it is a very interesting dynamic how the world behaves with contemporary food. Well, we all need each other, of course. You can't survive without investors understanding, and investors need to understand the business because it's so volatile. It's, you know, to put X amount of dollars into something that may, it won't work overnight. It doesn't matter if you've got the greatest chef in the world. It's not guaranteed at all for any reason. It's not like mortar and bricks and mortar. It's a tough gig. It's a really tough gig, and I think from even the most experienced restaurateur thinks they have a formula that's going to work. That's not guaranteed at all. And you know, everyone's saying location, location. Well, I'd probably put my money on location. And you look at a place like this, beautiful views. We're not on ground level, which is disturbing. I mean, I come from a place where anything above ground level is always tricky. But you know, in this part of the world, it doesn't really matter. It's all about views. It's about decor. It's about how fast you can get the food out of the kitchen. Perhaps how expensive you are, how glamorous you are, but at the end of it all, I want this to behave as a restaurant. I want this to behave as a restaurant that I want us to be able to contribute something to Dubai and to the UAE, to say that, hey, this is Arabic food, but this is Arabic food that has modern tastes about it. So. Very tough market. It's a very fickle market. It's a transient market. It's a scene market. It's a brand market, and it's not a great homegrown. You know, there's not a lot of great homegrown restaurants. All hotel 80% is, or not 80%, but 80% maybe with licenses are hotel restaurants. I mean, there's a lot of freestanding restaurants out there, but it's a tough one. You know, the weather's a killer. Nothing grows here. Everything's imported. You have to be very careful about how you order food. You can't just hold on to stock and think that it's going to sell the next day, and if it does, inshallah. You have this, you can't just ring up and say I want a box of tomatoes and it arrives tomorrow. That doesn't happen. You need to plan things, and you know, sometimes I'm more of a social worker in the kitchen than a chef. So it's just you know, these are all things that you deal with, and quite a, it's a nice way to spend your day anyway. I'm not complaining. Yeah, yes, yeah, precisely, yeah.